Hello, everybody. I am in Paris, the city of lights. There's a smell, there might be a garbage strike going on, current events, topical humor, yada yada yada, bing bing bada boom. Why am I in New York? Why am I making a New York accent? I don't know, I'm confused. Speaking of confusion, geography, world traveling, I'm going to talk about John Wick 4. I got got 3 fingers and a thumb, but there's 4 on the hand. See my hands? I don't have as many fingers as a human. Isn't that cool? Ooh, and I've stolen your wallet. You're not getting it back. So, John Wick Chapter 4. There's 4 of these now. We decided to do that as a society. 4 John Wicks. Which is kind of amusing since the first John Wick was sort of a back to basics as far as action movies go. Like, the movie was set off by dude getting his dog killed. Like Keanu Reeves, he was retired. He was being sad his wife was dead. And he had a puppy that was his last attachment to her. And the guy from Game of Thrones killed the dog. So he killed everybody. And it was kind of fun. It was amusing. It was a pretty good little tidy action movie with Keanu Reeves doing his Keanu Reeves thing. He's good. He's fun. It was a small stakes, small business kind of movie. And it made money. It made a good chunk of money for how much it cost. So, franchise. Second John Wick. Pretty fun. The stakes are higher. We have more stuff happening, more destruction, more gunplay. There's a part with a horse that's pretty funny. I think it's the second one. These kind of bleed together, unfortunately. Like, each movie, including this new one, has a couple of cool parts that you could honestly pluck from one film and pop into another film and not really know the difference per se. Like, this would be a bad series to watch in a loop. Like, if you were falling asleep one night, you'd wake up, oh, here's Keanu fighting on a horse. Here's Keanu with a knife in his back. Here's Keanu in Paris. Here's Keanu in New York. Here's Keanu in Japan and Morocco and yada yada yada, and here we go. So, anyways, second one, pretty good. Introduces more stuff. It has fun, silly lore of this world full of assassins who trade and who use actual gold coins and have this magical hotels they can go to who just take a break from all the assassinating, and they're in their non-fight zone. There are no fight zones, so like no guns here, no kill in this place in this lovely hotel, and then rules get broken, and then the third movie happens, and John Wick has every assassin in the world trying to kill him, which results in some pretty spectacularly silly fight scenes, which were pretty damn good. Actually, I think the thing with the horse was in the third movie. So it was the part with the guy with the book in the library, and the part with the place full of all the knife, the world's biggest knife collection room. That was pretty funny. So, this is a series of increasingly sillier and sillier circumstances. I need to scratch my face. Don't look behind the curtain of my hands breaking as I scratch my face through the headset. Wooga 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 booga wooga. I've stolen your other wallet. You had 2. So, now we are at... Oh yeah, in the third movie had Halle Berry with some dogs, which, well, okay, she's here. That was fine. I honestly forgot everything about her character beyond she had attack dogs. Now we have the fourth movie, which third movie ended in a very silly escalation of what John Wick, a super assassin, but on paper a human, is able to survive. Like, he gets shot, knocked off a building, hits everything on the way down, and if I recall, crashes onto a dumpster or a car, and lives, and he's fine. Between that movie and this fourth one, reality happened. Everyone in the world had to take a 2 or 3 year break, even the super assassins, and we pick back up where we left off, where I guess he was in recovery training mode for the entire time. So John Wick 4, pretty movie, very pretty. Like, this is shot on location for the most part in Japan and Paris. They use not so much Japan. Paris is used to spectacular visual goodness. There are vistas. You see all these landmarks like the ones behind me over here. Is a Mario Kart land themed Paris? I don't know. This is the nicest looking one I could find on short notice. Anyways, but there's all cool kinds of crap. It looks pretty. It's well shot. Yeah, editing is pretty decent. Scene change. So, beginning of the movie's kind of a little slow, kind of samey. The problem I have with the previous movie is that the fight scenes were so frequent and so often that they were getting kind of samey, kind of boring, which is a problem for your action movie. Fourth one starts up about the same way again. I'm like, oh no, we're gonna have the same fights again. I'm becoming bored. That's not good. And then Hugh Jackman? No, not that one. Donnie. I'm gonna call him Donnie. Donnie Hugh Jackman comes into the film and he is playing a blind swordsman, and those are such a beautifully silly trope that fits perfectly into this franchise, and he's great. Like, he is doing what you would expect a blind swordsman to do in a world full of assassins. He's pretty broken, he's pretty OP, and they've had fun with that, and they actually do take into account he is blind. So, like, he does have the superhuman senses, blind man Daredevil powers. Like, that's expected. They do play with him being actually blind. Like, the dude is having to feel around for things. He knocks things over. There's a pretty great bit in his opening fight where he uses some, essentially, motion-censored doorbells to fight some people with. That's silly, but it's great. It's cool. I'm back in. And the movie, I guess, realized that, hey, John Wick himself, Keanu Reeves is fine, but he's not that exciting of a character. We need to have some more stuff happening here. We need to boost this whole production. We start going around places. We start going to Petty in Bulgaria, I think. And we have essentially a video game sub-boss pit stop for about 20 minutes of the movie. Actually, about 30 minutes of the movie. Kind of a long movie, actually. This thing is close to 3 hours, which I could have lost a good 20 or 30 minutes of this thing. I could have honestly cut off the first section with him in Japan. Like, just fast forward that, introduce our blind swordsman man, Donnie Hugh Jackman there, and we're good to go. We could have lost quite a bit. Like, even Ken Watanabe's in here, and he's fine, but I'm like, I know what you're doing, Ken Watanabe. I've seen this. This is basically every character you're playing at this point is the same dude. It's fine, but I'm like, I'm happy to cut this out. Anyways, but we get a sub-boss mid-plot thing, which is essentially John Wick versus a Dick Tracy villain. Now, I forgot which actor this actually is under all the makeup, but you got a dude who's in a giant fat suit, playing cards, and he has a gross gold grill, and he feels like a Dick Tracy character. And then he runs and they fight him, and he fights like the Kingpin, which is to say a huge brick shithouse of a dude beating the crap out of people and knocking them over things. And this is in his dance club, parlor, casino thing that is nothing but extras dancing in basically a water factory. And all these fights are happening in this part where just rain is coming down on top of everybody, and there's fighting in it. It's pretty fun. There's a great neck break that happens here. And Keanu has one of about 3 or 4 clear death, like, injury falls that should have killed his ass. And I bring this up because I know it's a dumb movie. It's a dumb action movie. I understand that. But we do have a little bit of context. So, like, last time in the previous movie, when he took a fall that bad, that put him out of commission until the next movie happens. This movie, he takes about 3 or 4 of those and gets right back up and goes back to fighting. Like, I know this is a friggin' cartoon. I realize that, but I was like, come on, man. Like, really? Whatever. Minor issues. Just happens a lot to the point where I was like, again? the dude's an Avenger, basically. Like, he's taking body blows and falls that would make Captain America go, oh, my back, shit. Oh, I mean, Stars and Stripes Reverse. Oh, shit, ow, that hurts. So, then we get to, they're in Paris, stuff is happening. Pennywise is our main bad guy, and he's playing a super foppish European evil man who's kind of boring, but it's Pennywise, so he at least looks kind of creepy. So, We're in Paris, and for reasons, John Wick has to get from this spot to just this church before dawn, and they pull the same trigger again from the third movie, where every assassin in the city is out to kill him. And this last 30 minutes of the film is pretty damn awesome, because it's nothing but silly action pieces that are great, including the thing behind me back there, that arch. We have the human frogger scene, where John Wick is fighting people in traffic, getting out of cars, into motorcycles, all around that arch back there for the entire scene, with full-on traffic at full speed. I literally lost count of how many times he got clipped by cars, and I didn't even bother counting how many times bad guys got run over or crushed or ejected from or smashed or just mangled by traffic going around this loop-de-loop roundabout for a good 15 minutes, and it's kind of spectacular. Right after that, we go to, essentially, Hotline Miami. John Wick enters a building, and the camera goes up above the floor of and removes the roof of the building, and we see a top-down perspective of John Wick running through this place and shotgunning people with this magical shotgun that fires flaming bullets that I looked up later are real. Yeah, look up Dragon's Breath shotgun fire. You'll be kind of amazed, and honestly, this is cool. Like, crap, man, that was cool. Yeah, it's neat. It's going to be one of those, like, people are going to look at this particular scene and go, that's awesome, we need to copy that for years from here. And then we get to the funniest one, the Stairs of Doom. So apparently, there is like a 200-step plus staircase from the grounds up to the top of that church. John Wick goes up all those stairs and fights all the people up to get up them, and everyone being thrown, kicked, punched, shot, ejected, all the way down those stairs, straight to the bottom, and it's kind of great. And Keanu also gets his ass kicked all the way down those stairs to the very bottom, has to go back up and restart the friggin' level. It's stupid as hell. It was really good. Ending happens, it's fun, it's fine. I don't want to go into it too much because spoilers. Clancy Brown is here. Hey, Clancy Brown. Good to see you again. You're awesome. Continue being awesome, Mr. Kurgan. Still love you. So, we have our ending, which, again, I won't talk about too much because spoilers. It's fine. It makes sense. It ends in a way to where if this is the last of this franchise, perfectly fine. If they want to make another one, they can also do that real easily too. That's also fine. There's a stinger that is kind of like whatever. I remember people complaining about the stinger. I'm like, have you been watching this movie? Like, this is a dumb movie, but that does have a couple of moral points that it tries to make on occasion, and this one fits with it fine. So I'm like, whatever. It is a thing. Like, at some point, about after like the fourth or fifth time, someone's character stopped and gave a giant monologue about the nature of good and evil, and yada yada yada, and how this pertains to Keanu Reeves shooting people for 3 hours. This became a complete cartoon, but in a good way, a fun way. But yeah, if you like the previous John Wicks, you have already seen this thing. But if you hadn't seen it, and if you hadn't seen the previous John Wicks, try the first one. If you like it, watch the rest of them, including this one. You'll have a good time. If you didn't care for John Wick, you're not going to care about the fourth movie. But anyways, I'm in Patty. Patty. What movies take place here? Lady and the Tramp? Yeah. 101. No. Dalmatians in London. What else is around here? Alright, this is Mario Kart Land. Huh. I wonder what movie's coming out next week I'm gonna have to go see. Cross promotion? Yes. See me and Mario. No, you're not. No. Like, if they do a joke with a farting cat, that's me. That's fine. If they have a Goomba that's orange for some reason, totally me. If there's a Koopa that looks like they shit their shell for some reason, moi. If suddenly I sound like Chris Pratt for the next review, it's me, Mario. We'll see me in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 in a couple of weeks too. Wahoo! That joke's dead before I even started. Go see this movie. It's fun. It's fun. Shooty, bang, bang. But in that movie, what was that movie that had had a guy get killed with a carrot? I think with Jude Law was the star. Shoot, bang, bang, or kiss, bang, bang, something like that. Shoot 'em up? Was that it? Crap, I'm gonna have to look that up. I gave myself homework. No. Later. Oops.